Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and it is January 4th. Nothing too exciting in the world of story for Destiny 2, but we do have a couple of vendors that you might want to check out depending on if you're trying to complete collections, get guns for specific purposes, and also Xur right now. I cover him in the end, but if you can find an instance of EDZ's Winding Cove, you might have to check LFG, you might have to check Twitter, wherever it is. Xur, we will cover him in the end. He is in the Winding Cove. Again, it's as long as people hold the instances of him. Not quite a god tier level situation or anything that's really rare, so maybe harder to find him, but it's not that big deal if you don't find that one. First, we'll start at Banshee, see what he's got. So for Banshee, the main one that I wanted to point out is the 7 SERAPH Office Revolver. I'm not a huge fan of 180s, so you're probably wondering why I am pointing this out. The main reason is it is a hand cannon with timed payload. And while timed payload may not sound that exciting for certain situations, for one, it extends the range of the weapon, because if you can tag an enemy, this will do its full damage at range after a little bit of a delay. But the other thing about timed payload is when hand cannons are used for overload, which some seasons it's kind of like the only main option, this will count as one of the shots on an overload enemy. Especially when it comes to Master, this is very beneficial to keep tagging that enemy with overload shots. So if you're looking to try and help yourself in the future, whether it be Lost Sectors, Legend, or Master, higher level Nightfalls, maybe in Witch Queen if the campaign goes at a higher difficulty, we don't entirely know, but having an option if hand cannons are related to overloads, timed payload does make this beneficial, because you only have to hit them basically twice as opposed to 3 times, because the timed payload counts as some of those shots. So it's a way to activate the overload stun quicker, so if you don't have a hand cannon like this one, I do recommend tucking one of these away in your vault for future days when you very well may need one. There's not much else here. You've got a Lonesome with full auto, which you can literally turn on in the system settings, I think, now. You've got a Lead from Gold snapshot sights, 7 SERAPH. Lead from Gold, not so much going to be helpful in PvP. Snapshot, not really doing a whole lot there. You've got a Field Prep high impact reserves, the number. This is one of those, if you don't have an ARC auto rifle, at least put this in your vault until you get a better one. Field Prep, you know, gives you a little reload speed. I don't tend to run around and crouch with a reload. That's a playstyle some people are better at than I am. But it does have decent range. You can set up a decent rollout. High impact reserves, actually more damage at the bottom of the magazine. It's not a horrible roll, but again, it's not anything I would like jump into the game for and log in for. But again, if you don't have like an ARC auto rifle in your new, add it to your collections. Underdog and Demolitionist on a grenade launcher, not really. Genesis and tracking on Bad Omens. If you don't have a Void tracking rocket, again, same thing, add it to your collections. Genesis is not terrible. Now, granted, you're probably not going to use a rocket to break a shield, but if you did actually manage to shoot a rocket at something that had a Void shield on it, then you would actually refill the mag instantly. Not the best combination on a rocket, unfortunately. A little better on something like, say, a fusion or something, or a grenade launcher, where you got more ammo in the mag, but a Void tracking rocket, if you don't have it, not the worst in the world. For mods, we do have Icarus Grip and Freehand Grip. If you're missing any of those from your collections, might want to add them to it, just in case you haven't got them. Those do rotate frequently. And one thing to know about Banshee, at reset, which right now is, we'll say Eastern time, because it's easiest to say, is noon Eastern time. That's when a reset happens every day, and also on Tuesday every week. Banshee, for some reason, about 18 hours later, so take like 6 p.m. Eastern time, all of the perks on these weapons will change. So if any god roll actually comes up, I'll either put up a little short on YouTube. You guys will see that one. So again, 18 hours later. So if you do want to get this hand cannon, do it now, today. Log in, at least get this thing. It's not that expensive. So if you're looking to put one of these in your vault, do it today, because basically 6 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time, that'd be January 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern. This is probably going to switch over to some other set of perks, so you may not be able to get this one. So act quickly if you're looking for this one. At 801, nothing too crazy here, like Fusion Rifle Dexterity. Again, if you're trying to build out your mod collection, watch these every day. But if you are going for a Warmind Cell build in any situation, this is one of those that will help you complete your Warmind Cell collection. Incinerating Light, become charged with light by rapidly defeating multiple enemies with the explosion of a Warmind Cell. So if you do have a Warmind Cell, you can use this to become charged with light. Not saying it's the best build, but if you don't have it, it'll help you build out that collection. All right, so if you can make it to Xur, like being held hostage, which you guys may have heard about, if basically somebody is holding an instance of, you know, EDZ Winding Cove with Xur active, you can get to him, but again, that's why this is at the end of the video in case you can't reach out there. It's not a big deal, and you're not missing anything too crazy. If you do find an instance, it's not some bad stuff, though. You've got a sidearm with Vorpal and Demolitionist on it. Vorpal paired with something like Major Spec. Not a bad way to work on champions if it ever comes up that way, but it hasn't really been needed in a while, so not a big one. You've got to tap the trigger and kill clip Gnawing Hunger with accurized rounds and then extended barrel with some handling. Not a bad PvP roll for Gnawing Hunger. Actually pretty solid. Tap the trigger, good accuracy with some range. Kill clip with the reload, pairing with tap the trigger. Decent PvP roll right there on Gnawing Hunger for sure. Nature of the Beast, hipfire grip, not so much. Autoloading, trench barrel, not really doing it for me. Shotguns haven't been big. Kind of having a discussion with my Twitch chat about this long shadow, explosive payload, snapshot sights. You've got range. You can either go a lot of range on this one with a range masterwork, or you can get a short zoom scope if you prefer that one. I do like the way long shadow fires, and snapshot's probably going to feel good with some range. This is going to basically give you infinite range for your damage, so you'll be good there. But overall, not a bad feeling sniper rifle. Decent one to check out if you are looking for a sniper rifle. The snapshot, short zoom scope, some range on it. It's going to feel pretty good. You've got field prep, threat detector. Not really like a die-hard combo. You've got Stars and Shadow. Underdog I don't love. One of mine in chat is digging on Sympathetic Arsenal, so you can decide. Again, that's if you get a kill and reload this weapon, it will reload your other ones. It has benefits in certain situations, so if you're looking for Sympathetic Arsenal and Stars and Shadow, not a bad way to come across it if you can get to Xur. If you can't get to Xur, none of these are like god-tier epic must-have rolls, but if you can find an instance to say of Xur, it's not bad. Yeah, 700 Bright Dust for free. So log in at least once a week, go to the store and pick up your free Bright Dust. It's literally free, no reason not to. I'm getting random shaders that I may not already previously have. You've got 2 Cool Dance and Calming Down, a couple emotes, and then for Bright Dust, this is one I wanted to point out. If you do like the bad scene, I think it's from Community, somebody has told me before, but it's the dude walking in with like pizza and the whole room is on fire. It's just a hilarious emote, and it just kind of cracks me up that it's in the game. So that one is actually being sold for brightness. If you got a, nice couple situation, you got a cool slow jam, I wanted to point this one out too, because I actually showed it to my wife, so this was actually kind of cute. I could care less about ghost shells most of the time. You've got the Neiman Galley. This is a Saint 14 quote. Actually kind of a cool looking ship with the little lions on the sides. Not too shabby. You got the Frictionless Rocket for a speeder. And then you've got the Cedar Ash ornament for Witherhoard. It's kind of the actual wooden ornament. They do well on the texture work there. It's actually pretty solid. Other than that, I just tend to build up my selection of shaders in case there's anything that I'm missing. But other than that, that is mostly it. So for this week in Destiny 2, again, it's going to continue. If you're working on things like trying to complete your triumphs for Moments of Triumph, say you're working on the Nightfalls, it is a good week for Nightfalls because it is Lake of Shadows. While the Grand Master may have more health, which they have talked about, and I'll see if that's actually for real. Generally, the Nightfalls are going to go pretty quick. Make sure you're doing these on Hero, not Adept, to make those go quicker. And I did a whole video about this one. If you haven't seen it, tune in. That was the previous video that I did. But that's about it for this week. Just work on stuff that you haven't done. Take a little breather if you want to. Make sure you log in once. At least get that free Bright Dust. And then tune in tomorrow in case Banshee has any good weapon rolls. But for today, that is it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like below. Leave a comment if there's some weapon that, I skipped over that maybe you love. Feel free to throw that in the comments below. If you want to find me on Twitter, it is at Ebontis. On Twitch, streaming, where I actually recorded this live, it's Ebontis there as well. Right here on YouTube, which I know most of you haven't subbed yet. So if you are enjoying these videos, please hit that sub button. It's a nice way to support the channel. Hit that alert bell to help my videos make it into your YouTube feed. Let you know when new ones come from me. And if you want to support me directly, you can join the channel as a member after you sub, or you can join my Patreon down below. Thank you all very much. I'll see you soon.